Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another makeup diaries, which is a collection of 7 different looks that I've worn in the span of 7 different days. And I'm gonna be showing you what I'm using. Some of these will be new products, some of these will be old products, products I'm trying to ban, products I'm just trying to, use from my collection. And hopefully these videos will also serve you as kind of like a idea of what to wear and how to combine products together and colors together. And yeah, maybe you'll just get inspired to try something else and something new. So I really hope you're gonna enjoy that, and please vote down below which look is your favorite. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I upload every single day. There's gonna be a lot of like project planning content, makeup collection content as well, and sometimes I also review. So I really hope you're gonna enjoy that. And now let's get into this first look. This look is actually my first look testing the Death Tarot palette from Cosmic Beauty. I decided to pick it up with the Starlight Society palette at Cosmic Beauty, and this is my first day of using it. It's actually the first of the year, and I just, I've been eyeing this one for so long and I wanted to play with it for so long, but I needed to finalize a lot of my projects. So today I finally got to have fun with this one. And let me show you all the things I'm using. So I actually forgot to take out one palette, but for my brows, I'm using the Gingerbread Bakery palette from Simply Posh. I forgot to bring anything brow related because I've been using eyeshadows for the longest time, because I've been trying to pan some eyeshadows, and now I've panned them and I don't have anything for my brows. So I used this shade, which is called Brown Sugar, in my brows. It's actually a nice shade. I feel like it fits very well. And then I have this Essence Brow Lift and Freeze Glue to set them in place. Then I have the Catrice Grip to Last eyeshadow primer, and the shades that I'm using from the Death Tarot palette. So the kind of lightest shade in the inner half of the lid and also in the inner corner is Mourn. Never fully, like, I know how it's supposed to sound like, but I can't replicate that sound for some reason. Then the main shade all over the lid is Surrender. And then I have this one, which is Challenge, I believe. Challenges, yeah, in the outer part and also a little bit on the lower lash line. And then I have my Shine On Shimmer Primer from Cleonut, and the shimmer shades that I'm using is Rebirth, this beautiful red shade in the outer part of the lid, and then Growth is in the inner half of the lid, and it's so beautiful. And I just feel like it's such a like a grungy neutral look, and that's what I've been feeling today. So I really wanted to play with this palette. And then to finish up this look, so I have this, I wanted a grungy waterline pencil. The only one that I have is the Selma Geliner in the shade 013 from Odin's Eye. It's kind of like a deep brown. Then I have, like, everything else is pastel, so I didn't want to do that. And I don't have, well, I have one red pencil, but I didn't bring it with me. Then I have the Essence Lash Princess waterproof mascara all over my eyelashes. Then I have the Peripera Mood Fit Cushion Cover Foundation on my face, and this is in the shade 02 Ivory Fit 21 Yellow Base. That's my shade, or as close to my shade as I was able to get. Then I have my Glam Shop cream bronzer in the shade Olive. I've been on a journey to try to learn how to wear bronzer, so this is the one that I'm using and I'm trying to get accustomed to. Then blush. So my blush is actually a depotted blush from Colourpop, and it's the Super Shock blush in the shade All Laced Up. It's the pearlized one, and it looks like this. And then I have 2 different highlighters, so I'm actually layering like a base highlighter, and then I have an actual sparkly highlighter. So the base is this depotted Super Shock highlighter from Colourpop, and this is in the shade Highly Wasted. I'm trying to use it up, and it's kind of like a pinky peach, so it works well with this look. But then over I went with the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and these 2 shades, so the first and the third shade on the first row, they're just really, really pretty. And I mean, look at that, it's so good. So that's my highlighter. Then I have this Wet n Wild color, the color, yeah, Color Icon lip liner in the shade Chestnut as my lip liner. And I decided to use a lipstick from Cosmic Beauty. This is the like creamy lipsticks. And this particular one is from the Christmas collection from last year. That is the season collection. And the shade is called Santa Baby. It's such a good red, and I feel like it just works with this, you know? I wanted to really match it to the shimmer shade. And I think it's, you know, I just wanted to wear it. I love red lipsticks. I don't wear them very often, but every time I do, I do be feeling myself. It's just a great lipstick, okay? So that's for the first. Oh, let me also show you a little bit more of a close-up. I mean, isn't this pretty? Like, yes, maybe it would be more appropriate for autumn, but honestly, I don't play by the rules. It's just whatever I want to wear is what I'm gonna wear. And this one, it just works. I just love it. It makes me happy. So that's the first look with Death Tarot. And now let's get into the next look. Hi guys, so here is another look. Today I wanted to do this like yellow purple look, and I wanted to play with my Psalm 2 palette from Odin's Eye, because I just, you know, I wanna use this one up eventually. So what I'm using, I'm gonna start with my brows. I actually used bronzer for my brows, so this is Glam Shop Cream Bronzer in the shade Olive, and I've used that kind of as a base, and then I just went in with a little bit of an eyeshadow, but I would like to, I don't think I'm going to be able to use up this bronzer because it's 25 grams of bronzer, and I don't know if you can tell, but I don't really wear bronzer that often or that much. But unless I'm going to change my hair color, which I might, I can still use this kind of like as a base and then just use eyeshadows to kind of deepen up where I want to deepen up. So that's my base for brows. And then I also used a palette I'm currently testing, which is the Death Tarot palette from Cosmic Beauty. And I've used the shade Inevitable to make it a little bit more taupey, cool toned. And it actually created a really nice color. Like, it looks like my brow color, right? Like, it looks so good. It blends beautifully with my actual like hair color, like the brow hairs. And yeah, like I'm very happy with that. And these, I don't know, there's something wrong with my hair. I washed them yesterday, and the first day they're usually kind of weird and wonky and strange. But anyways, that's this palette, and it works really well in the brows as well. Then I have the Essence Brow Glue, how's it called? The Brow Lift and Freeze Glue. My eyeshadow primer is the Catrice Grip to Last eyeshadow primer. And then the palette that I'm using. So I have my Psalm 2 from Odense, as I've said, and I have the shade Warm Light in like the first half of the lid. Then I have Dream in the second half. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. I love using this one. It's one of my favorite purples of all time, or kind of like lavender shades. And then I have this purple shade called Galaxy. But yeah, Galaxy in the outer corner, just to deepen it up a bit. And then the shimmers that I'm using. So I have my Cleona Shine On Shimmer Primer. And in the first half of the lid, I have the shade Sunlight from the Salmon palette. And I actually topped that with... Where is it? Oh, I actually went over that with a topper. I have this liquid topper from Menagerie. This is the Moonlit Metal Topper. And it's in the shade Salamander. And so far it hasn't creased, I think. I don't have my mirror, but yeah, it hasn't creased. So, because maybe it's starting to dry up, because when this was new, it would crease on me. So maybe now that it's a little bit older, maybe I'm gonna be able to use it on my lids, and that would be amazing because I want to use it up. Because it's getting older, obviously. So yeah, that's in the first half. Then in the second half of the lid, I have my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I have this shade. I think it's Ethereal, if I remember that correctly. So that's in the second half of my lid. In the inner corner, oh, I know, I'm mixing this shade called Milky Way with a little bit of the shade Starry Sky. Then on the lower lashes, so the first shade is the shade Aurora, this pink one, and then Here I used the shade Hallucinations because it's slightly deeper and I just wanted to use it. I think those are all the shimmer shades. I think those are all the shades in general that I'm using. Then I have this Handayan 2-in-1 liquid eyeliner and I'm using the matte neon yellow for the liner part. I have this Revolution Streamline eyeliner pencil in the shade yellow, and as you can see, I don't have much. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to sharpen it much more. Like it's sharpened, right? And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sharpen it much more because it feels kind of looser, like the actual pencil part feels kind of looser in the packaging. So I feel like there's not a lot of product left. And that just shows you that I really love my yellow waterline pencils. Then the mascara is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. What else am I using? Okay, I have this Peripera Mode Fit Cushion Cover Foundation, just in the like lower, how is this called, under eye area, and a little bit on the chin, just like a little bit. So that's that one. Then I have the Glam Shop Cream Bronzer as a bronzer also. I'm really trying, you know, like I know I'm never going to be able to use this one up as a bronzer normally, so I'm just trying to find another ways for myself because it's getting also older. My blush is the Colourpop All, how is it called? Super Shock Blush, and it's in the shade All Laced Up. It's a pearlized one and I have a depotted, so I've been using this one quite a bit in the past couple days, and it's a really nice blush. It just works for me and it's great, and you know, it does all that it's supposed to do. Then I also have the Super Shock highlighter in the shade Hippo from Colourpop, and I have that in my brow bone, so over here. I just wanted to use it, you know, I would like to use it up this year, so this is a perfect opportunity for that. So that's Hippo. And my face highlighter is from the Beauty Bay Mini Chars palette, and I'm mixing Aurora with Milky Way, so these two shades that I don't have much of. And I love using them as a face. I mean, do you see that? Also, I have new earrings. I got them from my sister for Christmas, and it's a little maple leaf, so it perfectly matches my my tattoo. By the way, I'm gonna get a new tattoo. I have to figure out the date, but I'm gonna get a new tattoo, and I'm really happy about that. Then I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon lip liner in the shade Willow as a lip liner, obviously. It's in the name, very obvious. People aren't brain dead. You don't need to tell them that. Sorry. And then I have the Maybelline Vinyl Ink lipstick in the shade 15 Peachy. I just wanted like a really basic lipstick, and I'm trying to use this one up. You've already heard me say that because I mentioned that in every single look, and that's the one that I'm using. And I believe that should be everything for today's look. So yeah, I love wearing looks like these. I recreate this all the time because it makes me happy, you know. Yellow and purple, such a good combo. So let me know what you think about this one. Let me know how you like it. And I'm very happy to discover that I can use this on the lid as well, because I would usually only use it on the lower lash line. But now it's gonna be loads and loads of yellow and green looks with this one. It makes me very happy, you know. I just love to be able to use my collection and find ways how to incorporate that. And also because some of these shimmer shades from the Salmona palette are a little bit, like especially this one, it's not very sparkly. Well, most of them aren't very sparkly anymore. They used to be, or maybe I was just used to completely different formulas, but now they feel a little lackluster. So I think I'm gonna have to, if I want to use this palette up, I'm gonna have to use toppers over these to just make them a little bit more, you know, nicer, cutier. Yeah, it's such a pretty palette. Like, I love these tones, you know. It's very, very pretty. Yeah, it's very gorgeous. So that's for today, and now let's get into the next look. Hi guys, so here's another look for today, and today I have used, so I did like a halo eye because I wanted to use one of the shades from the Winter BYOP that I also have in my brows, and it's the shade Nowhere from Christmas Eve, and I'm mixing that together with my Beauty Bay, Simply Posh Gingerbread Bakery and the shade Cinnamon in my brows, so that's what's there. Together with the Essence Brow Lift and Freeze Glue. Then I have my Catrice Grip to Last Eyeshadow Primer. And in the inner and outer part, I'm using the shade Noir, which used to be here, but I don't have it anymore, so that shade is finished. And then in the center, I've used my Mighty Monster palette from Odin's Eye and the shade Oceanic, this one. So that's what's in the center. And then to blend it out a little bit with the other shade and also just all over the crease, I have this shade from my Winter BYOP, and this is called Beauty City, and it's from the Pokemon palette from Colourpop. And the shimmers that I'm using on my lids, so I have my Cleo Nut, where is it? Cleo Nut Shine on Shimmer, sorry, Cleo Nut Shine on Shimmer Primer. And then I'm using the shade Air from the Legend of Korra palette in the inner corner, in the center of the lid, both on the lower and upper lid. So this is the shade, it's just like a basic white shimmer. And then at the sides around it, I have the shade Toxic, which is from Makeup Beauty Shop. It's a beautiful shade. Then I have my Glisten Cosmetics Spectra pencil in the shade White. Then there's the Essence Lash Princess mascara. I have concealer is my Peri Mode Fit Cushion Cover Foundation. Blush is the Essence Baby Cut Blush in the shade Coral Crush. You can see that, like, once I'll zone in on a blush, I just use it every single day. Then I have the Glam Shop bronzer, also just because I only took two blushes. One is cool tone or cooler tone, that one, and one is very warm tone, so I'm not gonna use anything else. And I only have one bronzer here with me, and it's the cream bronzer from Glam Shop in the shade Olive. And then my highlighter, so as a base, I have this Super Shock highlighter from Colourpop, and this one is in the shade Hippo, and it's deep potted. And over that, I'm using the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I'm mixing the shade Milky Way with Aurora. And then lipstick, so I have the Catrice Creamy Nude Lip Pen in the shade Happy Hazelnut as kind of like a lip liner. And over that, I have my Maybelline Vanilla Ink lipstick in the shade 15 Peachy. Is that everything? Yeah, I think that's everything. So that's all of the product that I'm using today. And here is how the look looks like. I hope you're gonna like the way it looks. So yeah, that's for today's makeup, and I'll be happy to see you tomorrow. Hi guys, so here's another look. Today I've actually been playing with the Spring Magic palette from Unearthly, and I'm mixing the shade Cleanse and Clove, these two, in my brows. I also have my Essence Brow Lift and Freeze Glue. Then I have the Catrice Grip to Last Eyeshadow Primer. Then I have Flourish as the main crease shade in the first half. I have Blossom in the second half. It's like the deepening up shade. Full Bloom in the inner corner. Then I'm using my Cleo Nut Shine on Shimmer Primer. And I have the shade Mystic in the second half of the lid. I have Warmth in the first half of the lid. And I also have Sunshine on the lower lash line. And then I'm using my Spectra pencil in the shade White from Glisten. I have my Essence Lash Princess mascara. I have the Peri Mode Fit Cushion foundation as a concealer under my eyes. I have this Glam Shop cream bronzer in the shade Olive. Then the Essence Baby Got Blush, Liquid Blush in the shade Coral Crush. Then I'm using the Catrice Creamy Nude Lip Pen in the shade Happy Hazelnut, kind of as like lip base. And on top of that, I have the Unearthly Devour Collection lip gloss, and this one is in the shade Havoc, and it's a very sparkly pink, but it just creates this really pretty pink shade. And then I also have my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I'm mixing these two shades for my face highlighter, and it's a very beautiful highlighter. And yeah, that's this look, and I think it's very pretty, and I really enjoy this, so I hope you do too. And now let's get into the next look. Hi guys, so here's another look, and today I decided to do this like a super easy cool tone blue icy look. I actually only used a couple of products, so I'm just gonna get right into it. I have the Mighty Monster palette from Odin's Eye and the shade CBTS in my brows, together with the Brow Freeze Lift and Freeze glue from Essence. Then I have this Catrice Grip to Last eyeshadow primer, and then the only matte shade I'm using is from this palette, and it's the shade Oceanic, so that's all over the lid on my top and bottom lashes, or like lash lines. Then the only shimmer shade I'm using all over my lid is, well, I'm using the Shine On Shimmer Primer from Clear Nuts to attach it, and then I have the shade Toxic from Makeup Beauty Shop, and it's a beautiful shade, so that's what I'm wearing today. In the inner corner, I have this shade from the Legend of Korra palette from Colourpop, and it's called Air, and I just have it as a single with me here because I didn't want it to bring the entire palette. So that's in the inner corner. And then as a liner, I'm using a shade from the Cosmic Beauty Winter Wonderland, and it's the shade, come on, it's the shade Chill, this one. So that's what I'm using as a liner. Then I have my Odin's Eye Summoner Gel Liner in the shade 09 in my waterline. I have two mascaras on today, so I have the Essence Lash Princess mascara on the top lashes and the Glisten Spectra Paint in white on the bottom lashes. I have this Unearthly Lip Pencil in the shade Vamp all over the lips. Just wanted to do something purple. And then I have this Unearthly lipstick from the Devour collection, and it's called Havoc. Yeah, Havoc, all over the lips. It just makes them sparkly, and it's kind of like a pinky shade. Then I have my Peripera Mode Fit Cushion Cover Foundation, kind of all over. Well, I have it under the eyes, a little bit around the nose and on the chin. Then I have my Glam Shop Cream Bronzer in the shade Olive. I have my Essence Baby Got Blush in the shade Coral Crush as a, a blush. And then I'm using two different highlighters, actually. I'm kind of layering. So one of them as a base, I'm using this Colourpop Super Shock highlighter in the shade Hippo. I have it depotted because I'm trying to hit a pan on that. I'm trying to use it up. And then I'm using my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette as a second highlighter. And I'm mixing this pink with this blue, so these two shades. And it creates this beautiful, soft, frosty look. And that's kind of all that I'm using. So let me kind of come a little bit closer. And I just love the simplicity of this look. I love wearing looks like these, just like a really light blue, some icy sparkles, and then a dark blue shade for the eyeliner. That's honestly what I enjoy. That's what I want to wear. That's what makes me happy. So that's this look, and I just love it. So I hope you like it too. And now let's get into the next look. Hi guys, so here's another look, and for today's look, I've used my Cosmic Beauty palette, and I mixed these two shades in my brows, so it's the Inevitable and Self-Acceptance, and then I have the Essence Brow Lift and Freeze glue to set my brows in place. I mean, it's not, I think it's okay shade. It's not shade I normally go for my brows, but it's not like there's something really wrong with them. Then I have the Catrice Grip to Last eyeshadow primer, and the shades that I'm using. So in the inner half, I have Self-Awareness. Then I'm using this shade in the outer half, which is called Closure. And then in the outer corner, I have Shedding. Then I have my Cliona Shine On Shimmer Primer. And the shimmers that I'm using is Release in the second half, Acceptance in the first half of the lid, and then this shade, which is Growth in the inner corner. So that's the eyeshadows that you see on my eyes right now. And then I have the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Outer Space in my waterline. I have my Essence Lash Princess Mascara. This is the waterproof one. Then I have my Berry Mood Fit Cushion Cover Foundation. I have the Glam Shop Cream Bronzer in the shade Olive. My blush is the ColourPop Super Shock Blush in the shade Olay Stamp. And then my base highlighter is the Highly Wasted Super Shock Highlighter from ColourPop. And over that, I went in with my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette and these two shades. And it created this beautiful, beautiful highlight. So that's for that. And then my lips. So I just have the Catrice Creamy Nude lip pen in the shade Happy Hazelnut. It's the shade number 50. And then over that, I'm using the Catrice The Joker Lip Oil with hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. So it's this one that's currently in my rolling project pan. So I just wanted to have hydrated lips, but I still wanted to put some kind of lip color on. And yeah, I feel like it's neutral enough. I could have gone for something a little bit more brown. But you know, this was just something that was on my table and I didn't want it to, actually was kind of lazy, so I didn't want it to overcomplicate things. So that's what we have on and that's what we're gonna play with for today. So let me know what you think about this look, and now let's get into the next one. Hi guys, so here is another look, and let me kind of figure out what I've actually used, because I have been kind of moving things around the table and I'm not completely sure what am I working on right now. But I know I've used the Beauty Bakery Gingerbread Bakery Bath from Simply Posh for the shade Brown Sugar that is in my brows. So brown sugar. I have set my brows with the Brow Lift and Freeze glue from Essence. And I have my Catrice Grip the Last eyeshadow primer that I'm currently working on, and I'm using my Galactic Visitor palette from Singe Beauty. And from this palette, I've used the shade Saucer in the first half of the crease. I have Orbit in the second half of the crease and in the outer part as well. I have the shade Soul in the inner corner, and then I have the Shine On Shimmer primer from Cliona, and I have Milky Way in the second half of the lid, this beautiful kind of holochromy shade. Then I have the shade Beam in the first half of the lid. I have Encounter, this one, on the lower lash line. And then I'm using this Odin's Eye Summoner Gel Liner in the shade 09. Is it 09? Yeah. 09 in the waterline. I also have this Essence Lash Princess waterproof mascara on my lashes. Then I have the Peripera Mood Fit Cushion Foundation in my under eye area. I have this Wet n Wild Color Icon Lip Liner in the shade Willow as my lip liner. And then I'm using the Maybelline Mono Ink lipstick in the shade 15 Peachy. And then I have this Glam Shop Cream Bronzer in the shade Olive that I'm currently working on. As a blush, I'm using this shade from ColourPop. It's the Super Shock blush, kind of that pearlized one, and this one is in the shade Olay Step. I have depotted it from the Super Shock compartment, and I'm currently working on it to hopefully finish it at some point. And then I have my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I'm mixing Milky Way with Supernova. So these two shades for this beautiful, beautiful highlighter. I mean, the blush really helps because it's sparkly as well. So I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds. And me kind of maybe come a little closer so that you can see the eye look a little bit better. But yeah, this is such a cutesy little look, and I love combining these like bluey teals with yellows. I just feel like it works really well for me, and I love that kind of color story. So I hope you like this look, and I think this was the last look of this video. So please vote down below which look was your favorite. Let me know what you've been kind of working with for the past few days, and if you have some kind of favorites you've been coming back to from your makeup collection. But that's gonna be everything for this video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope I'm gonna see you again tomorrow for another video. So bye guys.